This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. After an absolute dream of a month in the Tuamotus, chilling on white sand beaches, kiteboarding, diving with sharks, and hanging out with our friends, we sailed a couple hundred miles to our next stop in French Polynesia, the Society Islands. Welcome to Moorea. It is 6:30 a.m. this morning, and we went to bed early last night after we got the boat situated and had a nice dinner. And we're gonna go on a little snorkel mission today. There are a ton of tour boats here in the Moorea Tahiti area, so we need to go early before the tour boats come and it gets super crowded. We're gonna go meet our friends Warren and Erica from We Sail. Well, they're a super cool couple. We've been hanging out with them for the past couple weeks here in French Polynesia. But yeah, super excited. Hopefully we'll see some more sharks. It is absolutely beautiful here. There are so many clouds over these mountains here beside us, and it just makes a really beautiful backdrop for an anchorage.
Morning, horny.
Horny! We took off with a dinghy convoy of friends from We Sail and the crew of Parley Revival. We reached the spot, tied off to a mooring, and dove straight in with the sharks already circling us. This shallow sandy bank inside the Moorea Lagoon is a gathering place for both blacktip reef sharks and Hemiptera stingrays. Some media outlets suggest these creatures are dangerous and people should avoid any interactions, but in most situations they are quite docile. Our blissful time floating around with these creatures flew by, and before we knew it, the tour boats started to arrive. That was our cue to hop in our dinghies and head back to our anchored boats. In real time, we're here editing this video for you guys in a cafe. So despite what you might think, we don't always edit our videos on board One Life. Sometimes we go to bars, cafes, even on public transportation. So we're always using public Wi-Fi.
When connected to public Wi-Fi, our online activity becomes less secure, making it easier for cyber criminals to get our passwords, credit cards, and personal messages. But when using Surfshark VPN, our data is encrypted from our laptops to the VPN servers, making it safer for us to use public Wi-Fi with no worries. Not only does Surfshark VPN keep us safe from hackers, but we can use it to virtually change our location, unblocking content that would be unavailable from the country we're physically located in.
The best part is Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out risk-free. And right now, Surfshark is offering our viewers an extra 3 months free when they click on the link in the description below and use code SAILING1Life at checkout. Wow, we had an amazing snorkel session with lots of sharks and rays. And we came back and took a little nap, and now we're headed over to the beach for our friend Max's birthday celebration. And our friends Northern Shadow just got in too, so we'll get to see those guys again. Should be a pretty fun afternoon and evening. Hi, party people! After a quick drink and catch up with our friends on Northern Shadow, it was time to head to the beach for the festivities. In typical sailor fashion, the whole anchorage was invited, and the turnout was huge. We even had a little Polynesian dance lesson for the group to wiggle our hips and embarrass ourselves. Let me see your moves. What did you learn? The birthday boy. Look at him go. Yes! Crushing it. The next morning, a group of us scuba divers set off to explore a site just outside the lagoon, known for its numerous sea turtles. The turtles here are quite used to seeing divers and actually seem to come over for a little underwater dance with us. When these turtles aren't out swimming circles around us, they duck down into the ledges of the reef to catch some sleep. By wedging themselves in, they are able to rest out of the sight of larger predators. And although they don't seem to mind our presence, this guy seemed to be a little grumpy about being woken up with a camera in his face. Sorry, bud. Go ahead back to sleep. Although the turtles are magnificent and the reef may appear vibrant and healthy, if you've been watching carefully, you may have noticed some signs of problems. There are many sections of live coral that have turned bright white. This is caused by the crown of thorns starfish feeding on the corals. The starfish have had a massive population outbreak here in Moorea, and investigations of its potential effect on the health of the reef are ongoing. Surprisingly, this is the first time we have seen turtles in the South Pacific, and although we love diving with all marine life, sea turtles are my personal favorite. It had been nearly 4 months since we had been to a supermarket back in Mexico. But it wasn't just food that we needed. Our stocks of propane, diesel, and gasoline were also getting extremely low. One Life was also in need of lots of small repairs requiring parts and supplies that could not be found in the Marquesas, Tuamotus, or Moorea. So we set off to make our way back to the big island of Tahiti. A few hours later, we entered the harbor of the fabled Papeete. It was a bit overwhelming to see the ships, airplanes, and hotels of a modern, bustling city. The anchorage was crowded, and conditions certainly weren't the best.
What are we doing today? What's the mission?
The mission is to get to McDonald's.
This morning it's blowing 30 knots, and we have a 3-mile dinghy ride to get to town straight into it. So, well, We're full-blooded Americans, and we need our McDonald's.
We've not had McDonald's in something like, I don't know, 6 months or something. I'm not wearing any clothes. I'm gonna put my clothes on. Once we get there, just wearing a bathing suit. Let's go. Even though we enjoy immersing ourselves in the local cuisine and exploring unfamiliar territory, sometimes we just crave a familiar taste of home.
Hamburger. Junior.
After getting our McDonald's fix, a quick walk around town highlighted the seafaring history and continued love of the water amongst Tahitians. And as for sampling Tahitian culture and foods, well, we figured we would start out with a cold Tahitian beer. This morning, we left One Life and headed into a nearby marina to use their dinghy dock. We were geared up for a full day ahead. It was finally time to visit a proper grocery store. The Carrefour, which is similar to a Walmart in the US, was only a short walk away. It felt so good to be in a store with so much to offer, but it also felt a bit overwhelming to have so many choices. We spent several hours at the store before we felt like we were ready to check out. We were provisioning for another 3 months, so this was a pretty serious task. Any guesses on how much we spent?
It's Mario Kart. It's literally like Mario Kart.
What was an easy short walk to the store turned a bit more challenging with 3 grocery carts to push. Along the way, a woman walking by offered her assistance, and we were so grateful to experience this kindness from a complete stranger. A couple other cruisers also helped to give us a couple extra pushes. Even with something as simple as a trip to the grocery store, we are constantly reminded of the physical challenges of living life on the water.
We've had people ask us why we say it takes all day to get groceries, and it's because of stuff like this.
With the groceries loaded in the dinghy, we didn't realize our fun was just about to begin. The wind decided to pick up while we were in the store, and we had a fun ride back to One Life. We did film it on the way back, but we just had a 4-mile dinghy ride back to the boat, and it kicked up to like 30 knots of wind. We were just taking waves over the dinghy and just trying to keep all our groceries dry, and we probably had like 6 inches of water in our dinghy.
What do you mean keep them dry? They're soaked.
Well, we were trying to
Now we
keep
need
them
to
dry.
dry them because
Yeah, so now everything's just soaked. And yeah, so this is $1,700 worth of groceries.
luckily everything's packaged, but all of the paper and cardboard packaging we're going to need to get rid of, and it's just a disaster. Sailing's fun. Quit your job, go sailing. You'll have a blast. I swear. Trust me.
Oh.
Just a little seawater with your groceries.
Man, sucks.
Well, since we've been in Tahiti, we've really not been doing much exploring. We've really been doing quite a bit of work, just chores. We did laundry, took our propane. I don't even know what all. It seems like we've been doing a lot, but fuel, cleaning, yeah, provisioning. But today there's zero wind here in the bay, so we're gonna go ahead and unfurl our mainsail. We had a batten pocket rip out on our sail from the Marquesas to the Tuamotus, and I'm finally gonna go ahead and fix that. It's been a long time coming. You guys know that I hate stitching stuff by hand, but I've actually become pretty good at it. So we're gonna unfurl this sail and get that started today. Hopefully I can get it patched and we can get it furled back in before the wind picks up this afternoon. I cut new patches of the thickest sail repair material we have on hand and began the long process of stitching them on one stitch at a time. The Speedy Stitcher is great for pushing through many layers of thick material, but it's definitely a tedious job. No complaints here though. I'm happy to do a little hand sewing to be able to dive with turtles in paradise.
How's it going?
It's going very slowly.
How many times have you fixed these batten pockets?
Way too many times. And it's actually not the threads that rip out. It's the pocket itself. So the material that we're using, we've used really strong stuff. We've used light sail tape. None of it works. I think it's just this sail design with these battens sucks.
Time for a new mainsail almost?
Ugh.
I think we're getting
Gonna
close.
keep using this thing till we can't use it anymore.
It's looking like patches. Got lots of hand-stitched patches. While Brooke's sweating in the sun up here, stitching our mainsail back together, my work isn't any more fun. I'm down here, I just finished changing the generator oil, and now I'm working on changing the engine oil. And it's about as hot and sweaty as it gets working in the hot engine room in the middle of the day. And these oil changes take a lot of time because you've got to suck the oil out with a vacuum pump. It's no just pulling a plug like it is on a car and letting it drain. You actually got to pump and then wait for the oil to get sucked out through the dip tube. But I've gotten pretty used to doing these. I don't know how many oil changes I've done between the generator and the engine in this boat. I'm probably on like the 10th one. So not a fun day today, but it's one of those days that keeps us cruising.
Well, it certainly isn't perfect, but our hope is that it gets us to New Zealand, which is quite a few miles away. Papeete is the capital of French Polynesia and home to more than half of the population of Tahiti. The hustle and bustle of city life had our heads spinning, and we were eager to get out and see the rest of this illustrious tropical paradise. So today we're doing a little land adventure with all our friends. So we rented a car and we're gonna do all things Tahitian tourist. One can simply not visit the Polynesian islands without seeing the tiki and marae remains. The first stone sculpture representing a tiki dates back to the 13th century and were crafted to symbolize power, knowledge, wisdom, and health. Marae are open-air communal and sacred places that serve both religious and social purposes in the Polynesian societies. So stop number 2 brings us to the grottos, and it is pretty cool looking. What do you think?
It's a hole. It's a hole with water.
Wow.
Wow.
Don't let Gary's sarcasm fool you. The greenery at this site, backdropped by the waterfalls and caves, was absolutely stunning.
Easy peasy, okay,
Easy
go
peasy.
ahead. Easy peasy.
Just goes for it.
We're in search for
And although Sierra said this was easy peasy, we weren't quite equipped with the right footwear. Proper footwear for this hike we're going on. So we made it. And it kicked our asses.
steep.
Yeah.
Bit steep.
A little steep, especially for these shoes I have on. And no water. But we're here and the view is on point.
The juice was worth the squeeze.
Totally. So there used to be a swing here, which is why we hiked. And it's gone now, of course. Remnants of the swing, that's all we've got.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no swing, but the view out over the reef fringing Tahiti was absolutely spectacular. This tree here has the craziest sap coming out of it. Any ideas what kind of tree it is here? We're headed down now for stop number 3, and we have no idea what that's going to be. We have a road map, like a map of Tahiti that we're just following around. So our goal is to get all the way around the island today. But we'll see how it goes. There's like 18 stops or something, so I don't think we're going to make all of them. But we'll try to hit as many as possible. What have you been hiking with all of that?
You gotta zoom in on those dirty feet coming down to the road.
We're at stop number 3, which is a waterfall. And this one is just a short little walk. So I think we're done hiking for today. One thing that really stands out about French Polynesia is just how clean and manicured every place is. And this waterfall is no different. It's really nice and clean here. Whapahi Waterfall is located along Tahiti's south coast, about 30 miles from Papeete. This area is rich in cultural heritage. According to ancient Tahitian legends, this waterway was the path to purification of souls. And although we don't know the full history here, one thing is for sure, the place is abundant in natural beauty. That was a nice little stop. So this is a sacred waterfall. Our French isn't very good, but there was a man here who told us that if you have a worry, you should bring some kind of flowers or basically a gift You should lay it at the bottom of the waterfall and then touch the rock and pray. It's pretty cool to hear about how they do things here, you know? And I really wish we spoke French, because sometimes it's really hard to get the full experience not speaking the local language, which is Tahitian and French. But we're just really fortunate to be here and be able to experience some of it and rent a car for the day, especially with all of our good friends. All right, onward!
Does anybody think that Gary can actually take off without stalling the car?
Not on this hill. Definitely not on this hill.
We've got 40 seconds to wait to find out.
It's making me think about it. It's way too long to think about it.
It's gonna be so good. 3, 2, 1, and stall! Stall!
Go for it. Go. And there's cars behind us.
He did it!
Oh, Gary. Yay!
We're at the next set of waterfalls, and rumor has it there are 3, and I can actually see them from here. Feels really special to be here in Tahiti. You know, people dream of coming here, and I remember as like a little girl just looking at pictures of Tahiti and how beautiful it is, and it's awesome that I'm here and that I've actually sailed my home here, and that we have sailed our home here. It's a really special place. This waterfall is known as the Cascade of Three for obvious reasons and has a drop of over 240 feet. We're at our final stop for the day. Venus Point was named in 1769 after explorer James Cook built a Venus observatory here, and almost 100 years later, in 1867, Tahiti's only lighthouse was built. So this area is full of history. But today, the vibe is much different. It's a busy recreational park. And as the sun sets on this beautiful beach in Tahiti, amidst the swimming, activities, and shared moments, it becomes clear that despite the distance and cultural differences between us, we're all part of the same globe. A reminder that in a vast world, we're all more alike than different. Thanks to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the description.